Hey, yo.
Mm.
Yo.
Yo.
How do you want it?
West side.
So, woo!
Hey,
Yo, cut that out. Beep down.
We do. You want us to get cancelled? Man did 10 episodes and all of a sudden he's...
Yo, welcome back to the Two Stubborn Nigerians. As can be found on Instagram at two
yes, sir.
underscore stubborn underscore Nigerians.
Will out. Tell him again.
At two underscore stubborn underscore Nigerians.
Come on, man.
I'd put that there because obviously, if you're not following us, you missed a lot of information over there. That's fine. You know, we'll get to it. I am your host. Or at least 50% of your host.
One half to
be exact.
That's how it goes.
DJ Kex.
Yes, sir.
Kekabelly.
Yes, sir.
Which is so fitting. Cause like given the song that I just played.
Come on, man.
Super fitting.
Super fitting.
Some call me the notorious K.E.K.
Some do.
You know, I just go by Raheem. That's what my mum called me.
That's
so
true.
I have to go by that.
That's true.
I am sitting across the table.
Yes, sir.
From the other 50% of the Two Stubborn Nigerians.
Yeah, that's how half works.
But it couldn't be anyone else. That's the crazy thing. Like, if it was someone else...
It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't even be Two Stubborn Nigerians anymore. It would be a completely different thing.
Different combo.
But you guys clicked on Two Stubborn Nigerians, so you already know that you came in to listen to DJ Kex and Podcast P.
Power to the people, we're back to do maintenance. Yeah, we gonna write like crack when it came in.
Yes, sir.
It's me. It's Podcast P.
Okay.
We here. We back. Track 11, baby. Man.
Crazy.
To the next 10. To the next 10.
Paul, did you recover from the after party, man?
Man.
You went crazy.
Hey, listen, Rock Nation branch, I'm with R&B singers getting better acquainted. Like, hey, man. It was... You know, it was electric.
Oh, man.
It was electric. The energy in that room.
Nuts.
I was popping and locking.
Bam.
Listen, man.
I saw you. Like, you were...
I was in my bag.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Man.
How are you?
Oh, bro, you know me, man. Like, day by day.
Day by day.
You know.
Slowly, surely.
Hey, it's December, man. You know how it goes.
Man, it's December.
2021, right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. 2021, my year. Fam. It's my year.
Bro, the things that we have lined up.
Fam.
If I can tell you guys,
if we could tell you, we would, but...
Hey.
Man. Welcome into each and every single one of you. Thank you for joining us once again for another edition of the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast. We are your hosts. We are here. We are back. We're ready to go.
Yes,
energy in this room is electric right now. As usual. It's authentic right now. we finna go crazy right now, man. We have I think we have a really great episode lined up.
Yeah, I'm excited for today.
We've been really excited. We've really had this one prepped up for a while. And we're really just it's another one of those episodes where we're just gonna keep the main thing.
100%,
we're gonna talk about one of the most classic albums of all time of any genre of music.
No one can debate it. If you try to debate it, at me, we can have a debate, and I can expose your dumbass on the TL.
And then even after that, we'll still block you because we don't need that level of stupidity.
No one knows the facts. It doesn't make
any sense. Just bringing down our market value.
Crazy.
All of a sudden, people think like, listen, Hove said, don't argue with fools because from a distance, people can't tell who's who. All of a sudden. Let's stick to the main. Let's stick to the main thing. No, but genuinely, man, how are you?
Bro, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Every time we turn on these mics,
just transform to a different plateau.
Like the energy just goes up every single time.
Yeah.
What about you, man? How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. This episode has been, just weirdly therapeutic. Being able to listen to this artist again and being able to just focus in on their work has really just taken my mind to it now. But my fifth eye is open.
Fifth.
Yeah, because I opened my third eye when I was 3. Third eye was open when I was 3. Fourth eye was open the first time. The first time, and then the fifth eye. Hey man, this time around, like. I was like, wow. It's crazy.
Seeing different colours and shit.
Bro, all of a sudden, when turquoise is mixed with red, like, all of a sudden I'm getting a new...
I didn't even do the science.
Like, fam, all of a sudden I'm getting a new colour.
Niggas bugging out. Can you just record the podcast?
I've already started. We're going to be here for a while because I'm just being stupid. Like...
This guy came in on this level. Oh my God.
This is going to be a long day. Man, we here. We're back. We haven't been away for a while. We've been away from our typical structure for a minute, right? It feels like a long time.
Yeah. Honestly.
And so one of the things we'd started like a little while back, and we didn't do it in Track 10 because Track 10 was just an awards show. We had so many responsibilities. Once again, congratulations to everyone who took home a Two Stubborn Nigerian award. I know it was one of the biggest honors and achievements of your life.
I hope you didn't go too crazy.
I hope you didn't go too crazy, man. I hope you didn't go too crazy. You know, I know. You wanted to kick all the Grammys to the side. I get it. I get it. But like,
they're still in the steep. Like, they have a bit of respect.
You know what I'm saying? They've only done it 60 times. But one of the things that we typically do on this podcast is we like to give you guys as the audience a chance to get to know us a tad bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is, you know, some of you know Kex and some of you know me, but may not know the other person, may not know us all that well. And we want to give you a chance to know our music tastes and our music backgrounds and why, one, we feel qualified to speak on music, but also just like what goes through our minds and what makes our brains tick, right? And so we do this little get to know us session. And for this week, Kex, I want to ask you a question. So I was scrolling the TL, you know, the other day through my burner accounts because you know I deleted the thing, you know what I'm saying? I had some mental health carry. Yeah, so I was scrolling the TL the other day and Chief Keef's Love So-So videos popped up, right? And someone said like this is just one of the biggest, most like tracks of all time, which is undoubtable, right?
Yeah, you can't argue that.
And I always think about that track and I always say like there's songs that just create an earthquake where like it feels like everything in my life shifted. And I always say Chief Keef's Love So-So one of those songs because that was when after that song came out, all of a sudden all the white people that I knew started listening to hip hop and rap music. And all of a sudden it's like, yo, shit, what is this? Like now all of a sudden I got white people talking to me about grime and I'm like, yo, I can't keep up anymore.
Talking to me like they know more than me.
Do you know I've been here. Like you just got here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my question to you is what other songs or albums or moments do you equate to having like an earthquake effect in your life where like they dropped and you could literally see changes based on, or even your way of viewing the world change based on that song, album, artist, that moment in music?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
That's a big question. Man, okay. See, I think to a lesser extent, it's more so for me personally.
Yeah.
I would have to say Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares.
Ooh, great choice.
The
song or the album?
The album, the whole album.
Okay.
First of all, you know, you like as you just said, the song itself.
Yeah.
What that song did, especially for us in our school.
It's a literal earthquake.
In our school, you could go anywhere without people just going crazy.
Just at a random point, someone would just be walking around with it going on that speaker.
Like, hold on, wait a minute.
You thought I was finished?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the whole class.
All of a sudden the whole class.
Teacher can't control nothing.
At all. Teachers rapping along. St. Paul's is such a fucking ghetto.
St. Paul's.
I'm gonna have to redact it. I said it didn't pay me.
That album as a whole, for me anyway, like I've said multiple times, before that album came out, or before around that time period anyway, I was more so of a person who would listen to singles, singles that artists put out. When I listened to a few of the albums that came out around that time, is when I really started to appreciate, artists can really dip into like from this intro bag, they can get into what we would consider the singles, but also keep a concise album, also take us into like storytelling. Like he had Tony's Story there, he had he had excellent songs on that album, and then the production throughout
it was stellar.
It was just really opened my eyes to what albums could be, and from then it really set the base level of what I considered to be an excellent album. What about you?
Man, I'm even thinking it's tough. There's two that really come to mind, but I'm gonna stick with one. To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh man.
To Pimp a Butterfly, and I say that because To Pimp a Butterfly came out. I'm getting the month wrong. I think it was February 2015. And obviously 2014's Forest Hills Drive had just come out in December of 2014, so it was really soon before that, and that really created a shift in like the way the people around me saw the impact of music on society. Like they saw more and more how I saw people around me realize how music could actually like be a vessel to talk about what's going on in society, which is something I had always known, and it's one of the reasons like hip hop music especially has always been so near and dear to me. But seeing people listen to All Right and understand where Kendrick's coming from when he says we gonna be all right. Do you hear me? You feel me? We gonna be all right was something. Hearing people listen to Hood Politics and understand where Kendrick was like trying to take them or where he was trying to take their mind in a similar way to what Cole did on the January 28th intro to 2014's Forest Hills Drive, where he's like, what's the price of a black man's life? I checked the toe tag, not 10 in sight. Like, I literally saw a shift in the way that the people around me were consuming rap music, where it's not just about the beats, it's not just about, I'm like, hey, what's up, hello, you know what I mean? It's also about, like, what does this song and this album or this artist tell me about what's going on or tell me about life? And I think that was a shift that happened really in that time when this dick ain't free and niggas was really in there breaking down why this dick isn't free.
This dick ain't
It's not free.
Because
you're looking at me like a receipt, like it never ends meet.
Man, I miss Kendrick, man. I miss Kendrick so much. And that album, if you knew what that album did to me,
it's different.
I used to break down that album every day.
Yo, I used to be sat there giving people dissertation. No, but you need to understand, how much does $1 really cost?
Fam, I remember, what song was it? Not even the songs. It was the afterwards, after every song, the evils of Lucy was all around me.
Yeah.
At the time, I was thinking, oh, okay, he went from Shireen to Lucy, and I watched the music video. I was like, Lucifer. I was like, whoa! Yeah. I didn't even. Let me re-listen to this whole album again.
Go do it again. It's you, bro. The way it's what, and if these bottles could talk, and then you hear the bottles in the background. Like, yo, this is the greatest song of all time. Like, there's actually
artistry.
We're not talking about Kendrick today.
Come on, man. It's not an episode. Didn't come though.
But yeah, I feel like, I think people should always look out for those moments. I think there are just moments where a song drops or an album drops where you can literally see how that song or album, especially hip hop, literally changes the way people around you move and changes the way things happen. And I really shout out Chief Keef for that in 2012, because when that Love Sosa dropped,
man,
and all of a sudden I'm going to these white people parties and it's no longer Paramore Misery business. Like,
you know how quickly they got McFly out.
Bro, they got so quickly out of there. Like, as which they went from like McFly to Max B, and I was like, shit, I ain't got Max B catalog yet. What?
This guy's got into that bag.
This is talking me about French Montana. I'm like, wait, what? Gucci man, like, it's like, wait, I know you.
Man, we literally went to the same primary school. You were telling me to listen to McFly.
I was there. And now you're here talking to me about Waka Flocka.
You guys have me walking around school. Somebody once
told me, like, now it's like, I go hard in the motherfucking paint. Like,
yo, oh man.
Speaking of which, I got hard in the paint. That's a different story.
But we'll get into that one day.
We'll get into that one day. Man. When we become a basketball podcast.
Come on, man. Soon come.
But, like we said, today we're really here to talk about one thing and one thing only. And, we're just going to keep the main thing. And some of you are asking, because we haven't introduced it. And that's, a concerted effort on our part. So some of you are thinking, what is the main thing? Like, what is that main thing that you are keeping as the main thing?
I would love to know, man.
Well, you're tuned into the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast. Which means there can only really be one.
It has to be one thing.
One main thing.
Because there can't be two main things.
There can't be two main things, right? So not only does it have to be one main thing, it has to be one specific person who is the main thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that time in the podcast where we come together as a congregation to really just do a deep dive and analysis into what did Armani Caesar, the Liz, do this week.
Oh my goodness.
Come one, come all, gather round.
Before we forgot.
That's crazy. You thought we left it in the past? Nah.
Yo, we get straight to the shit.
Straight to the shits.
Oh man, what did Armani Caesar do this week, Paul? Paul, let me tell you what she did this week.
What she do, man?
Because a lot of people, they're going to be like, oh, I didn't, I follow her on all these platforms. I didn't see her do much.
Yeah.
Fam, you guys have it twisted. Armani Caesar was going crazy all week. Raheem, what's she doing going crazy? I didn't see.
What was she doing going crazy?
Let me tell you what she was doing.
What she was doing, man?
She was celebrating.
What was she celebrating?
The fact that she just became the Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year from who? The 2000 Nigerian Rookie of the Year. Bam, there was only one.
There was only one. There could literally only be one, and she took it home.
Man, that's crazy.
In a landslide.
It's crazy.
There's something wrong with us. Like, we actually have content. I love it.
Oh, man, nah. Like, it was just... I'm really happy for her, man.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for her. As we said, there were 5 people who were in contention for it.
Yeah.
She won it by a landslide.
Man.
We're just gonna we're always going to show love to our money user here, because if not us,
then who? Then who?
Who else? Who else?
Miss Caesar, there are 3 chairs. You can have my chair.
I'll stand up.
Like, I'll stand. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, say Zoom isn't even a thing.
Like, like, say we don't have a... Let me stop.
Come on, man. You can't give that juice.
Can't give that juice. No, but in all seriousness, guys, we are really here to give you a serious, like, in-depth podcast today. We're going to be doing an album review.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be doing a classic album review. We're going to be talking about one of the greatest albums of all time in any genre of music. Again, some of you are at this point thinking, well, what album is it that you're going to do? Well, we're going to have to... Let's just intro it like this.
Intro it normally, man.
What? Just, I mean, to those of you who don't... Some of you already know what we're talking about now. Some of you should have known what we're talking about. Some of you should have known what we're talking about by the name of this podcast.
Come on, man.
But we're, of course, talking about The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh, my goodness.
By Miss Lauryn Hill. The album that came out in 1998. Comes in at 16 songs, 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Man.
Just undoubtedly one of the greatest albums of all time, right?
No, I don't think it's something that you can even debate at this point. Like there's a reason that Lauryn Hill is amongst the greats.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, one of those, whatever genre of music you fit it into, you know, whether you consider it to be a rap album, hip-hop, R&B, soul, like the queen of neo-soul that she is, like, it's just one of those seminal projects that just, like, no matter how old you are, no matter when you were born, it's one of those things where it's like, you just feel that you're drawn to the album. You feel the need to listen to it. And then when you listen to it, you just get it. Like, I've never had someone who's listened to this album and hasn't just had remarkable things to say about it.
It's a remarkable album.
That's it.
So you have to have something remarkable to say about it.
And it starts off like that with the little intro skip, but then it gets to the shit.
Straight to the shit.
Straight to the shit.
Flipping hell, Paul.
How dare you start an album like that, by the way?
Paul, let's rewind, man. Let's rewind. Because I have so much to say about this album.
Let's go.
But let's go back, right?
Okay.
When's the first time that you yourself listened to The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill?
Oh, man, that's a great question. It would have been the turn of last decade, maybe like 2010, 2011. Like, I first really started downloading music consistently, like 2009. So it would have been like 2010, 2011 on just some illegal download.
Okay.
Download shit. What about yourself?
It would have been much later than that. I think it was around Sixth Form days.
Yeah.
Because I had heard the majority of these songs.
Right.
Just from, being alive.
Being alive. Like, you have to.
I don't know I'm not going to hit X Factor. What are you doing? But I didn't really... It never really dawned on me that, this is all Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
And then... I can't remember if it was you. I think it was partly you, partly me hearing other people talking about it as well. I was like, no, let me actually download this whole album and listen to it top to bottom. And that's when I realized, oh, okay. This is history.
This is it. You know what I'm
saying? I understand why people
understand
this. If this was made, basically almost 15 years before I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only when I listened to it, it sounded like it was a brand new elite album.
It still feels like it could have dropped today.
And it will still do the same impact.
It still do the exact same thing. Like, I think it's one of those albums, and you're right, like, you'll hear so many of the songs from it. Like, you'll hear X Factor, like, unless you live under a rock, which again, like, I don't know how you do it, but I mean, it's a great idea in this year of all years.
You need to bring me in.
Yeah, bring me in. Where do you find a rock?
In 2020?
In 2020?
In these pandemics?
Fam!
Please!
In this panoramic? But unless you live on the rock, like, you've heard doo-wop, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen that video, it's timeless, like, you know all the lyrics to it, like, you can sing the hook, the verse, the bridge, like, you could probably play the chords if someone really
if you really had to.
Like, you've heard so many of these songs, but then, like, when you listen to it on an album, every song takes different shape. It has a different feel, like, there's a different vibe, there's a different story that's told, you know what I mean? Like, Doo-Wop as a standalone single that you see the video on MTV Base or Kiss TV, shout out MTV Base and Kiss TV from back in the day.
The golden era,
nigga. Like, it means one thing, you know what I'm saying? That video, we're back on a boogie where Cass used to harmonize, like, my men and my women, don't forget about the D, this is how it's supposed to be. It's about a thing.
Oh
if you feel real good, put your hands in the air and lick 2 shots in the atmosphere.
Yo, I actually miss those days so bad.
Yeah, I miss it so much.
Fam, I used to watch music videos all the time because of MTV Base and Kiss.
All the time.
It's been so long since I really sat down and just analysed music videos.
Man, music videos used to be shit. But no, like, that song means one thing when you watch that video as a single, right? But then when you put it in the context of an album, like, as in after To Zion and before Superstar, just has a completely different feel, you know, before and after the skits, the pitch that's sandwiched in between two, like, different. When you think about this album, like, just speaking in general terms, like, what is a standout quality that this album really, do you think this album possesses that's allowed it to just stand the test of time?
Do you know what it is for me? And I think you sort of just, like, hinted towards it. You know, you hear a lot of these songs, and a lot of these songs to you, without knowing much about the songs, are classics. Whether you like it or not. Like, as you just said, whether you like it or not, Doo Wop is a classic.
Yeah.
X Factor's a classic. Yeah. Like, I can go through this track list now, and there's so many classics.
Facts.
And then when you realise that, oh, okay, all of these classics are somehow put onto one album in a way that it doesn't just sound like greatest hits.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a DJ collection of just hits.
Yeah.
It sounds like a concise album where this song had to go after this one. You have to place this skit here so that you can then transition into this. That is like, how does one person put all of this greatness into one album? It's just, I think that's the main reason that is, one, stood the test of time,
right,
and two, like, it goes down as one of the greatest albums,
right,
to be made, like, period. Like, there's really if we're talking about Hall of Fame, this is right there.
Yeah, it's first ballot Hall of Fame. Like, this is, I think, you know, you hit the nail on the head, like, in what you were saying, like, the manner in which all of these songs can fit and complement each other is such, like, an impressive skill. And, like, it really goes to the quality of, like, the narrative skits and, like, the storytelling that they do. And it's something that's obviously been stolen through hip hop. I don't know if she was the first to do it. I'm not even going to say that because I doubt it. But, like, the manner in which it's done, like, we literally watched Redacted go and do the same thing on a College Dropout, like, less than a decade later. Like, Kendrick went and did the thing on Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick went and did the thing again on To Pimp a Butterfly. Kendrick went and did the thing again on Damn.
That's his signature.
Like, niggas just, like, everyone found a way to, like, take that model and use it for their albums. And it's something that, again, like, this is, like, we always have our debate, as we've seen, like, on so many times on this album, like, on this podcast, like, you can go listen to track 9 because the internet, like, we have this whole debate, long albums, short albums, like, this is an hour and 17, but because of the manner in which the skits are structured, and it really helps you just tell the story of what Lauryn Hill and the team behind this album were trying to portray and produce. It's really easy just to stick around and follow along and just be around for what is a sensational audio journey.
And there's another thing that I think is super underrated about this album. Obviously, like, we've already said it, the skits are used perfectly. But even just the fact that I love it, I think we've mentioned it before as well, when everything sort of ties in together.
Man, yeah.
So you have, one, the fact that the album is called The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Then all the skits are based in a classroom.
A classroom, yes, sir.
Where you are then educated or miseducated.
Yes, sir.
And then the album cover is, for my people out in America, just classroom desks.
Yeah.
For my people out in the UK, example desks.
Yeah.
Because obviously we have the tables out here.
Real tables.
Come on, man. We're struggling. You to a table.
Right.
It's wrong. But nah, like, I just love how everything tied. Like, this is a project in the purest form of project. Like,
it's a movie. Like, it's art on every single like level. Like you say, you get just the album cover, you get the visual art, but then the skits give you a picture. Like, they literally paint a portrait in your head, like, it becomes a movie. Then you get the sonics of the aesthetically pleasing sounds, the vocals, the lyrics, the production, which is just like
ridiculous. The production on this album.
Talk about it. What, like, is there a song that you really think, like, defines that and just stands out and, like, hits about the fact that this is produced impeccably?
Literally, as we just did it now, right? You go from the intro.
Yes, sir.
You know, you're doing your class register.
Yeah.
Then just like that, we go into Lost Ones.
Yeah.
And the beat on Lost Ones.
Man.
Ridiculous.
Man.
Like, bro, I'm about to use the word, yeah?
Yeah.
Stick with me here.
Okay.
Bodacious.
It's bodacious.
Bodacious.
It's bodacious.
I don't know if I use that right, but it feels right. And that's what Snoop said. If it feels right, it must be good for you. So that's not even what he said, but fuck it.
Get out. Pack up your shit. Pack up your shit. Guys, I'm auditioning for a new co-host. Like, get out. This is bodacious. The beats is bodacious. This nigga wants to be Missy Elliott so bad.
Nah, the production.
Yeah.
The production on Lost One's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And then you go over to Zion.
Ugh.
And I'm not talking about the NBA player.
Not at all.
Bro, when truly, it's still mind-boggling to me that the Pelicans didn't decide that they were going to do 20 promotions with this.
Based off this. It doesn't make any sense.
At all.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're just playing normal hype music.
You know what's crazy? I did see the other day. So obviously this is like a song to Zion, to her son Zion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 23.
Wow.
Imagine having just Lauryn Hill as your mum.
Wow, it's me.
Like,
that's crazy.
Just deep. Like, imagine waking up and your mother's Lauryn Hill.
What's that nigga doing now?
I have no idea.
He has a hit song,
like,
just for him.
Like, how do you not flex that every single time? Oh, you know that song to Zion?
Yeah, literally, I play it everywhere I walk.
Yeah, it's my walking anthem.
That's crazy. Wow, 23. That's nuts. But even that song there, like, we're talking about production.
Oh my goodness.
Just the guitar.
Shout out Carlos Santana. Oh, come on, man. The dope. Maria. Oh.
If I diverge now. Yo, that guy gave us so many hits.
So many hits.
Because what truly, do we get wild thoughts about him?
Not
of
at all.
course not.
What a guy.
Oh man.
No, yeah, I mean.
You remind me of a West Side
Story.
Oh my god.
Let me stop.
I want to sing so bad. Let me check. Man, nah, like the production over this whole album, flawless. Like I can't fault the production. There's no faults in this album. I think that's why, for me, again, it just stands the test of time when you do stuff like this.
Absolutely. And then you talk about, like, if we stick on this song to Zion as well, like, there's really, obviously the whole song just like, yeah, it's a letter to her son, but it's also just like a double entendre. Like, we're marching to Zion, marching to Zion, marching. Beautiful Zion. Like, it doesn't. Just the like thought process to be able to write a song that's meant one thing and then to an audience who may not even necessarily realize that this is to your son, it can mean something completely different. Like that thought process, that artistry is so unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so ahead of its time. Like it's so individualistic. Like I really can't think of many other. Obviously, people have done it on songs. Like, I know I can literally list off songs where I can say an artist wrote this song to mean one thing, but if you don't know that, it means something completely different. Like, I can do that for days. But for a whole album, like, for an entire, like, to be able to do that throughout an album as well, it's like, because this album,
16-song album.
This album is so deeply, like, personal. You know, if you ever read about it or you like, just take in some of the lyrics of the song and try and pitch them from Lauryn Hill's perspective, you see how deeply intimate and personal, like, so many of these songs are, whether it be, like, dealing with breakups with Wyclef, like, from the Fugees, or it be having this new relationship that she was going into with her husband, and then having, you know, a child and people thinking your career's over. But then also, if you listen to it just from, like, a purely fan perspective, like, the emotions and sentiments that you get are going to be so completely different. Like,
so crazy different. Like, I remember, like I just said, I went into listening to this album based off of people's opinion on it.
Yeah.
So I hadn't really done a lot of research onto what the songs meant or where she was at when she was making the album.
Yeah.
I knew a bit, but not a whole lot. And the album meant one thing. And then when I found out about more so the thought process behind the album, and I realized, oh, okay, this is actually for this. Oh, right, okay, she made the song in reference to the. Oh, okay, let me listen again.
Yeah.
And then somebody took on a whole different life and was like, wow, I don't know how she did that, but she did that.
Yeah, yeah. Where do you like? Because obviously Lauryn Hill is one of those artists where, like, if you ever hear a modern day artist talk about who inspired them, like, no matter who it is, Lauryn Hill's name comes up. Right, like, literally, no matter what artist it is, what genre. Redacted. So I wish Lauryn Hill said her heart was in Zion. I wish her heart still was in rhyming. Because who the kids go and listen to? I guess me, if it isn't you. Like Snow Allegra, like Janae, like all of them. Literally every single one of them. Like whoever you can pick, whoever your favorite artist is, you literally find the connection, right?
Yeah.
When you think of like this album and modern day artists, what like sort of parallels can you draw?
Oof. And you know what? It's actually funny that you say that, because I was literally listening to this album this week.
Yeah.
It was after Lost Ones again.
Yeah.
Again, Lost Ones. If you can't tell, Lost Ones was one of my favorite songs off this album.
Yeah.
I remember I was listening to that, and I was just listening to her spaz out.
Yes, sir.
And I remember thinking, man, how would I then describe Lauryn Hill to someone who knew nothing about Lauryn Hill?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I would literally tell them she's one of the best rappers, in the same vein that I talked about Rapsody.
Yes, sir.
In that, oh no, she's not one of the best female rappers.
Yeah.
She's one of the best rappers.
Period.
Like, respect her. She is in name, like, she's in this with the greats.
Yeah.
Of the greats.
Yeah.
Like, she's just different. She's different, and that's why I draw the parallel to Rapsody, because.
I'm gonna ask you to like expand on that if you can, and here's why. Like before we like were coming to do this, I was talking to my brother. I was like, oh yeah, for this episode we're gonna do like a breakdown of the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. We may talk about how her this album inspired modern day artists, and the first name that came to his mouth was like, gonna talk about Rapsody. I was like, I hadn't planned on it. Raheem might. So the fact that you've actually done that without me even knowing, I think that's crazy. Like look at Circle of Life. Good God. So I was just like, can you expand on that a little bit more and just like push that? Because obviously we love Rapsody here.
Love.
You know what I'm saying? And we shout her out at every single opportunity we can. So like, talk to me more about that comparison if you can.
Do you know what it is? I think obviously there's a lot of female artists rapping right now. Yeah, mm-hmm. we literally just showed love to Lauryn Hill.
Yes,
not
sir.
Armani Caesar. There's a lot of female artists that are just elite.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Absolutely.
But I think right now, the phrase female artist, the first artists that come to mind, like your Cardi B's, your Megan Thee Stallions, like your newer, like your City Girls, people in that sort of vein where...
Shout out JT.
Oh, shout out JT every single day. Every single day. Reminding them, what did JT do this week?
What did JT do this week? What didn't she do?
Oh! My whole thing is,
they do.
Even though I love their music, and I do think, I think their music's amazing.
Yeah.
But there's levels to it. Like, their music is more so for fun.
There's something about hearing a woman just spit.
Yeah. Bars, go crazy. To a point where what you're saying is wowing me.
Absolutely.
And I think Rapsody is one of those artists who does that every single time she raps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just comes with straight bars.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lauryn Hill is another artist that did that, but I think Lauryn Hill is more versatile in what she can do, obviously. Yeah. Like, just this album alone, we said it to begin this segment. Whereas, she can hop into an R&B bag. Yeah. Is this an R&B album?
Is it a rap album? Is it a rap album?
What is it?
Am I dissing this nigga? Do I love this nigga?
Rapsody, when it comes to the rapping side of things,
I mean,
it's hard for me not to draw those parallels.
Yeah.
I can see there was clearly inspiration there where she comes hard. It's similar to almost similar to Lil' Kim as well. These artists that just come and they just rap straight bars
non-stop.
And it's something new every time, something shocked, just amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's where I draw my parallels from anyway. But what about you? Who do you...
Man, the one that comes to mind is, I think the one that social media runs to a lot is her.
Okay.
And I just think the mixture of, and this isn't necessarily exclusive to her, but the mixture of being able to sing and rap, because it's not exclusive to her. Janae does the same thing, but Janae is the modern day Erykah Badu. In every single, they're both Pisces. I literally just found that out this week. They're both. Doesn't that just make too much sense? Doesn't that make too much sense? No, but think about it. They're the exact same person. They're the exact same person. But I always go to her because we talk about Lauryn Hill, her artistry. We can take away from this album like an MTV Unplugged, where she's literally just sat on a stage playing a guitar and freestyling songs, right? Herb will literally go on stage next to a piano and just start freestyling a song, or with a guitar and just start freestyling a song, and she'll rap on a song, and then she'll come back and you can do damn it.
But I could be mistaken. Didn't she even do a sample? Well, a sample for.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be like one of my next questions. Is just like when you think of this album, right? Like it's been sampled 1,000,001 times, like different moments, different songs, different sounds. Like, is there like a song that you remember being sampled off this album that just like you always go back to?
Flipping hell. Flipping out, boy. Like, you're not holding back with
at all, man. I really want to get into this. Like we said, it's an influential album.
Yeah.
It's influential. It's had so much influence on us and clearly on music. So, like, I think we should.
Yeah, no. It's a good question. Yeah. Off the top of my head.
Off the dome.
I would probably have to go with Drake.
Yeah.
Draft Day.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Fam, that. Oh, man. Just the way it starts, the way he goes into it, the way he uses it. Like,
yeah.
And Drake is one of those artists, because you even have Nice for What?
Yeah, or he samples Lauren again, yeah.
Fam, like, he gives Lauryn Hill as much love as
he really does.
Can give her.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's off. There's better artists who have sampled her, man. You said it yourself, like, bare. I don't know, it's tough, man. It's tough off the top of my head, but...
Yeah, that Draft Day one, because he samples Doo-Wop. I mean...
Special.
Yeah.
Special. Just, what song, man. That's early Drake as well.
Yeah.
Man, I miss early Drake.
What
about you there?
J. Cole. Cold Summer. Like, that is my song. Has been since Truly Yours 2 came out in 2013. And I love the way he sampled it. I mean, J. Cole has been using Lauryn Hill samples since before J. Cole was J. Cole.
Yeah.
Like, all the way back. Like, you can't go and listen to one of his mixtapes without finding a Lauryn Hill sample somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm almost certain at the end of Forest Hills Drive, where he's talking about, I'm gonna go to the fucking Supreme Court to make it easier for niggas to sample this shit. I'm sure he was talking about Lauryn Hill. Because it's only Lauryn Hill that gives you stress for sampling that shit. So it was, I'm sure, like, I'm almost certain. But, like, the way he samples Nothing Even Matters and just loops it so beautifully, just loops Lauren Cronin, and then is able to just rap endlessly, you know. Nothing even matters at all, and just use that and let it go.
Man.
I think was just so beautiful. Like, it shows really the artistry, and again, it just shows like the versatility of Lauryn Hill's music. The fact that, you know, Nothing Even Matters is one of the greatest R&B love songs like I've ever heard. Like, her and D'Angelo would just be, I mean, her and D'Angelo turned into Redacted and Jay-Z on Otis, like the way they're going back and forth on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's another thing about this album, by the way.
Talk to him.
The few features that there are.
Talk to him.
Wow.
I mean,
D'Angelo goes crazy. Mary J. Blige, must I say more?
Now I don't. I used to love you. Now I don't. Now I don't.
Bam. I don't even have to say more about Mary.
I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, if you say more, hateration, holleration, and being in this dancery.
Like, yo, she's a legend. Like, when Mary J hops on,
it's you know when Mary J's coming. No, I think
Carlos Santana.
I mean, you guys shouldn't make me start singing on this podcast.
Maria.
She ran me up the West Side Story.
Oh man,
there's really not. I mean, this album is special.
It's so special.
It's so special, and like I'm really thankful that we even have this album in the ether, because, like I said, it birthed so many of our favorites. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, anyone who's been listening to the first 30 minutes or so of this podcast will have an idea, because you've literally mentioned Lost Ones every 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But when you think of this album, talk to me about some of the songs that make this album what it is. If you can, obviously there's 16 phenomenal songs, but like, what are the songs for you that, like, when you were listening to it for the first time, as you've gone back and continue to listen to it, as you listen to it in preparation for this podcast, like, what songs really were just like, yo, this doesn't make sense to be this good?
Lost Ones, obviously,
I've
told you guys how I feel about Lost Ones. To Zion.
Come on, man.
The first time I heard To Zion,
come on, man.
And every time I've listened to Zion since, every time I listen to it, I think to myself, Raheem, when your first son is born, this is blaring through the hospital.
Yeah, it has to.
Whether they like it or not. Even my wife doesn't like it.
Now the joy of my world is in Junior.
That is great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I will be crying picturing me accepting the NBA.
Yeah, come on, man.
And the final MVP of my son's part. Jesus. And then straight off of that, we have Doo-Wop.
Yeah.
Man.
The classic.
Man, must I say more?
The classic.
I still remember watching that music video.
All the time.
The guy dancing with the Puma.
All the time.
Suede, that is
that video and like that exact moment is why was one of the reasons why the Puma Suede is my favorite sneaker of all time. It's the reason it was when I earned my first paycheck. It was the reason it was the first thing I brought was a pair of black and white OG Puma Suede.
Makes sense. It makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Bam. And then I used to love him. Oof.
That was in the bag.
Man.
That was in a bag.
Man, you get to this song and it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is why this album is what it is. Like, fam, those songs that I've just listed, for those to like somehow lead into this.
Those are the first 5 songs. You know what I mean?
It's special, man. Yeah. It's just special. Man, this song, what Lauren and Mary doing this song on verse 3?
See, torn and confused, wasted, abused, and they just start going back and forth. And again, it's that like age-old combination that we really love on this podcast, where it's just like sensational vocals and sensational writing.
Yep.
And you're able to tell a story in more ways than one. This is like artistry at its highest form. Like, there's really not a lot more that we can say about this album other than like you're watching art. You know, every single sound, every single crash of a cymbal, every single piano note, like it's beautiful. Like
there's no other word for it. It's beautiful.
Like, you don't have to listen to it. If you sit and read the lyrics,
you might cry.
Like, for real.
Man, this album. What about you? What songs on this album make it what it is for you?
Oh man, the way X Factor starts, it could all be so simple. But you'd rather make it hard. Loving you is like a battle, and we both end up with scars. Tell me who I have to be to get some reciprocity.
Man, you know what's crazy?
Go!
Get
some reciprocity. No one loves you more than me.
And no one ever will.
Bro, ain't that so toxic?
But it's so toxic.
It's so beautiful. Is this just a silly game?
Oh man.
That forces you to act this way. Forces you to scream my name. Then pretend that you can't stay. Then she goes, tell me who I have to be to get some reciprocity. See, no one loves you more than me. And no one ever will. But then she really gets into the shit. Because then it's no matter how I think we grow, you always seem to let me know it ain't working. And when I try to walk away, you hurt yourself to make me stay.
Jesus Christ.
This is crazy.
Toxic relationship.
This is crazy.
How did she make this sound so romantic?
Bro, it sounds so beautiful, doesn't it? And then she said, I keep letting you back in. How can I explain myself? As painful as this thing has been, I just can't be with no one else. By the way, she's singing all of this. Like, she's not talking it the way I'm talking. She's singing this.
She's singing this, but the same person who's singing this is the same person who was rapping on Lost Ones.
Come on, man.
Literally a song before.
And then she goes, see, I know what we've got to do. You let go, and I'll let go too. Because no one hurts me more than you, and no one ever will.
Man.
Because no matter how I think we grow, you always seem to let me know it ain't working.
It ain't working.
And when I try to walk away, you hurt yourself to make me stay. Hey, yo, this is crazy.
This is crazy.
And then she breaks it down. Because it's care for me. I know you care for me, there for me. You said you cry for me. You said you died to me, to me. Like, just beautiful, right?
Crazy.
Beautiful. But as I said to you off air, And I'll say it now on the mic. Music peaked when Lauryn Hill finished off this album with Tell Him.
Man.
It doesn't make sense.
Man.
Let me be patient. Let me be kind. Make me unselfish without being blind. Though I may suffer, I'll envy it not and enjoy what comes because he's all that I got. And then tell him I need him.
Man.
Tell him I love him. It'll be alright. It'll be alright.
We have to come to
this mic. Yeah. Yo, because now I may have faith to make mountains fall, but if I lack love, then I am nothing at all. I can give away everything that I possess, but left without love, then I have no happiness. I know I'm imperfect and not without sin, but now that I'm older, all childish things end, and then tell him it'll be alright. Like,
yo, what? Oh my god! It's still. Do you know what? Yeah, I think that's the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
And there's one thing that I've never really been able to get over.
Yeah.
Is how easily she both raps.
Yeah.
And then sings.
Well, you know what it is. Like, she was. I don't know enough about the come up, right? But like, she just seems so destined for this because like. We were just saying it, like, this is probably, I don't know if anyone had more pressure on a debut solo album than this woman, right? Because, like, you gotta think, she is the Fugees. Like, when we think about the Fugees, God, like, love Wyclef, love Pride. But, like, when we think about the Fugees, we think about Killing Them Softly, and we think about Miss Lauryn Hill. We think about, I play my enemies like a game of chess. When I rest, no stress. If you don't smoke zest, right? Like, just lyrical excellence. Do you know what I'm saying?
I remember there was a video where it was the Fugees performing.
Yeah.
And it was it must have been in some theatre or something. Yeah. So obviously there were chairs.
Yeah.
And everyone was sitting down whilst they were performing.
And
Lauryn Hill was just like, alright, cool, let me start
freestyling. And everyone goes crazy. Like, the energy she brings is different, right? But like, she has that Fugees back catalogue, and then we were just saying, like, this came out in 98. Sister Act 2 came out in 93. Like, joyful Lord, we adore EA. Like, the catalogue that she had before she dropped her debut solo album was Hall of Fame catalogue, right? And then, so like, the hype, but I say that to say, like, she was so seasoned already. You can tell this is like seasoned vet. You could tell this is the skill level of someone who's been doing this for a year or two. This is the skill level of someone who knows their craft and understands the game and understands breath control, understands breathing, understands how to mix her vocals, like understands what she wants to create, and then just had the life experience which allowed her to create it.
You know, it's actually, now that you put it like that, even. It makes so much sense because obviously I've never really looked at it this way. This is the first time I'm looking at it this way. Even I've always looked at this album as this is her debut to her solo. Like, this is her basically coming out as okay, this is me by myself, right? Yeah. But now that you say what you've just said, I think this is better looked at as okay, this is me saying goodbye to the game. Almost.
For real,
because she retired after this. So it's like, this was really just her. This was her send off.
This was her flexing.
It was her saying, okay, I've been doing this. I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
But here's the last one that's gonna let you guys know that I'm the greatest. Like,
this is gonna solidify my place.
And what, 22 years later, we're talking about it.
Do you feel like I've written about this on my podcast. I've written about this on my blog, Clearing Out My Mind, before. They can find it at my link tree. That's at Paul_Olabayo.
Thank you.
I've written about it before about like when you have a classic project like this. And I've written about it in the context of Lauryn Hill. Like, there's always things you can go back to and learn, right? Like, I know for me, like in preparation for this podcast, listening back, there were songs I heard again, and I was just like, yo. You know, like, I found something different. Like, I found it different. We were just talking about it a couple of weeks ago where I was like, the skit where dude's like, I'm going to write something on board. We're going to spell it. It's like LOVE, love. And he's like, does anyone know any songs about love? And like, the first voice we hear is someone saying, oh, right here. And I always thought it was some kid in a school putting their hand up and saying, yeah, pick me right here. But really, they're talking about SWV's Love Gonna Be
here. Listen, like, I'll be so upset. If that's really what happened,
it has to.
I'll be upset that I never clocked that.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but to find that artistry, like, I just figured out 2 weeks ago, and I asked that to say, like, when you think about how all-encompassing this project is, do you ever feel like we do actually need another Lauryn Hill album or project?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think how can I put it? It's similar to Game of Thrones for me, right?
Oh, okay.
Where with Game of Thrones, I feel like they peaked.
Yeah.
And we technically needed another season of Game of Thrones to end it.
Yeah.
But well and truly, certain things, Game of Thrones might have not been the best example, but certain things, once you leave on a high.
Yeah.
You leave on a high. It's like what's my guy? Nate Robinson. It's like my guy Nate Robinson. Your legacy, people remembered you as the nigga who dunked on Yao Ming, he dunked on Shaq, who was blocking Yao Ming shots at 5'8". Like, wow, what a guy.
Yeah. Listen, only on the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast is Nate Robinson going to be in a conversation about Lauryn Hill. You love it. I love it. I love where you're taking the culture.
Certain times, when you've ended off your career and it's just like, it's such a nice send-off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just nice to leave it there.
Yeah.
Let us remember you like this.
Mm-hmm.
And if the way that we're remembering you is the miseducation of Lauryn Hill,
we cool.
Like, even if, because at this point, if she drops another album, it's either going to be just as good as the miseducation of Lauryn Hill,
yeah,
or worse.
Yeah.
Because how do you get better than the miseducation of Lauryn Hill?
Facts.
So if it's worse, then now this is how I have to remember you. And it might not even be all that much worse. It might be like, it might literally just be marginally just not as good.
But you've got one of the greatest bodies of work music has ever seen.
Like, when truly you've left on the highest note you possibly can.
Yeah.
Just leave off like that.
And just put it to rest.
Honestly. Like you just said, all these artists are now recreating your music. They're using your samples. Your music lives on forever.
Yeah. So
we don't necessarily need more.
Yeah, to be honest, like I don't think I could agree more. Like, the music is so timeless, and like I say, there's just, you go back and you find out something new. Like, you find something new. Like, there's a new note that hits you. There's a new song that you fall in love with, and so it's just like, we really don't need more. Like, like you said, like, you're not topping excellence. You're not topping what is one of the closest like versions to musical perfection that we've ever seen. Exactly. So like, why sully down your art? You know, why deal with all that unnecessary pressure that niggas like you and I are gonna be putting on her? Like, is it gonna be a? You know what I'm saying? Like, just let it live. You know, let it rock and continue to turn up late for shows and play this song.
Honestly,
these songs.
Honestly, that's the fact. You've hit it on the head. Like, why bother?
Yeah, why risk it?
But then, in that same vein, I'm never going to turn down new Lauryn Hill music, so if she wants to come out with more...
Oh, never.
Go for it.
Never. I really like the fact that she's been like hopping on a lot of features recently in recent years. Like, just every now and again, you'll just see someone featuring Lauryn Hill, and it'll actually be like, you know, Lauryn Hill, like she had a track with Pusha T a while back. Like, just, I like that. Like, pop up every now and again. Let us know, you know, just remind niggas who you be.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when I hear Lauryn Hill's voice, I'm going to come back to this album.
Facts.
And as you said, like, this album, at different ages, for me, is always going to mean something different.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it so beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Alright, so in that same vein, you know, I get about 6 or 7 songs that I love.
Yeah.
What would you say, and I won't put you on the spot with this one, but what would you say your top 5 are in no particular order?
My top 5?
Or in order if you want to.
Or in order if I want to. In no particular order, man. Like, I've mentioned some of them before already on this podcast. Like, Tell Him is quite frankly one of the greatest bodies of work I've literally ever heard in music. Like, if I was making an all-time music playlist, like, it would be in my... It's up there. Okay. Lost Ones, which we've waxed lyrical about, because I don't understand how you actually fix yourself to begin an album like that.
Crazy.
It doesn't make any sense. I would ask where you get the audacity from, but you are the person who sung Killing Me Softly.
Yeah, honestly.
So I understand exactly where you get the audacity from. like it makes total sense. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, the song, is another one of those just beautiful, beautiful songs that I think stands out to me. X Factor, as I mentioned already. To Zion, as again we've waxed lyrical about. And again, like, I don't know what her son does, but I already know that you don't use that song enough in your everyday life. Because me, I would be doing it every single day.
I'll be trending on Twitter.
Like, people be telling me. Like, it would be my walkout music. I'd be like Chet Hanks. Like, I'd be on Twitter every single day just because niggas is pissed off about my shit.
Chet Hanks niggas.
So what? Niggas the pits. Oh my goodness.
Someone called him Shabba Hanks. I've never recovered since.
The niggas the pits. Oh my goodness. But that would be me. Like, every single day. If my mother was Lauryn Hill and I had a song where I'm quoting, like, I say the same about like Blue Ivy as well. Like, you have number one hits from before you could really like talk for real.
Fam, you have to talk to Blue Ivy.
You have to talk to me differently. Like,
number one.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when was it that North was just out there singing nonsense at the Sunday service and Kim was there crying?
What?
Well, you can't talk to me. Talk to me nice, nigga. Like, Stormy being the head of a Fortune 500 company.
Come on, man. This is my children.
This is my children.
This is my children's. What's the word?
Fam, their destiny.
Amen.
Amen. Because, but also them, like, they know. Because I have to be on that stage with Adam Silver.
Oh, if I'm not, I'm gonna be upset.
It's upset because me, LeVar, and the Holiday and the Antetokounmpo dads, I have to be in that same club.
I have to.
I can't be in the Michael Jordan dad club. Like, no, where my kids, like, fam.
Oh my god. Yo, LeVar did it. Yo, no. Can we get to it? Yo. Listen. In fact, no, we're gonna get to it.
Yeah, we're not about to.
Because LeVar, wow. But either way.
Yeah, cool. No, I think, like I said, you can really pick any song off this album. It's just one of the greatest bodies of work of all time. I implore everyone to listen to it. Like, you've all listened to it, and if you haven't, I'm not even gonna at you. Just go and listen to one of the greatest bodies of work anyone has ever seen in music history. That includes Beethoven. That includes all those white people that stole black culture. Get that Beethoven nigga out of here. No, Beethoven was black.
He was black.
Yeah, it was a partner with him black. So, shout out Beethoven. Facts, nigga. Facts.
Alright, cool. To end off this segment here.
Yes, sir.
Someone comes into the room now, right?
That would be crazy. Like, just bad.
We're recording. But let's say someone comes into the room right now.
Yeah.
They've never heard of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
They don't know what she's about. And most importantly, they have no idea what the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is. You have one sentence. I say one sentence because it's maximum 10 words.
Okay.
Even though I don't think that's a rule anywhere, but maximum 10 words.
There's no rule anywhere in the world.
I was going to limit you to 3, but I think that's a bit unfair for this album.
Okay.
You have maximum one sentence, 10 words.
Yeah.
To convince him to go listen to this album. What are you going with?
This album is music at its finest. Need I say more?
Damn, you have a word spare. Look at efficiency.
Like,
right. Man wrapped it up early.
Come on, man.
I said, ain't no need for a fourth quarter.
I don't need a full quarter. I'm sitting down.
Team, no overtime.
No overtime. Hit 60 and 30 in 3 quarters, man.
Come on, man.
What about yourself? Like, how do you sum up this album to people who may not have heard? Someone from Mars comes down and they say, I see, people talk about this Miseducation of Lauryn Hill all the time. Like, what do you say to the people of Mars who are really advanced culture in themselves and they have like so much streaming history and have great music culture? I've been really like rewatching Doctor Who recently. Fam, I'm so into this wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
You just made a whole history for the people of Mars.
Fam, because they have such a rich history. Oh, and it's only Elon Musk that understands.
Finish. What am I telling to the people of Mars?
Yeah.
Do I have a limit? Nah. Just, do me.
I'll cut you off.
Alright, cool. To the people of Mars, I'm saying, yo, as you guys are such an advanced, civilized culture.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that advanced, civilized cultures stream the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast.
That's facts. That's facts. Preach.
Them,
yeah.
Go and listen to track 11.
Yeah.
And then I shouldn't have to say anything else. Because that is almost an hour of content right there.
Listen. Sometimes you just gotta give your guy the ball and go stand back. Because when they start cooking, you just gotta let them cook. Because what he just gave you was Alfredo. What he just gave you was chicken Alfredo.
This guy. Oh my days, bro.
I really don't think there's anything more to say. Like, you can tell that we love this album. You can tell that we just adore this woman, Miss Lauryn Hill. You won't ever hear this, but on the off chance that you do, thank you so much for this exceptional body of work. Thank you to everyone who was involved in making this body of work, man. And I've really enjoyed having the opportunity to just go back and listen to this album again. And fall in love with this album even more than I already was. And, you know, to close out, we've mentioned the song a multitude of times already. I have at least. Here is Tell Him, the final song off the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Why?
Yep.
It's going to be in the description. The song is called Quicksand.
Quicksand.
Oh my goodness, what song this is, man.
Yeah?
What song? Listen, it's one of those things where I can't really convince you. You have to go and listen to it and then form your own opinion on it, as we always say here.
Yeah.
But man, I just go and enjoy, man.
I feel you.
That is our recommendations for this week.
Yeah.
And just like that, that is episode 11 in the books.
Bro, we are. These guys don't stop.
Man, the work ethic.
The work ethic's insane.
My goodness.
Always in the gym, always putting up numbers.
Man, actually, look at Mamba mentality.
Bro.
My goodness.
Rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in peace to Gigi.
Every day.
Rest in peace to everyone on that helicopter.
Every day.
Man. 11 deep.
11 deep.
Football team. We have a football team of podcasts.
Oh my god. Episode for every single member.
Come on, man.
Crazy.
We growing.
Crazy.
We growing.
Bam.
Yes, sir.
You're closing us off this week.
I am indeed. I think it's only right. You know, I alluded to it. I think it's only right that we play something off this beautiful body of work. There was an album, and so, you know, we're gonna take it back to the boogie when cats used to harmonize. My man and my woman.
Ooh,
don't forget about the thing. This is not the most a thing. It's about a thing. If you feel real good, put your hands in the air and lick two. Closes out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Nigeria never carries last. Let's go.
Yo,